Hi guys, my name is Mayana. Welcome to Mayo Core, and today I'm going to be doing my March wrap up. This month is gonna be really quick. This is just gonna be like a cozy. Oh, I should turn my candle on. Do I feel like doing that? No, not really. I just want this to be like a cozy little wrap up. I only read 9 books. If you've never seen me before, I usually read around like 20, 30, 40 depending on the month. And I only read 9 books this month, mainly because I did get into a reading slump, and I just was doom scrolling like crazy, and I just didn't feel like reading. And I did start to like pick up reading, but now I'm going on vacation, which if you're wondering what's behind me, it's my bag of stuff. I was gonna put it behind the camera, but I'm not lifting that heavy ass bag up with these nails. Absolutely not. I forgot what I was saying, so we're just gonna get into it so I'm not sitting here, because y'all know I can talk forever. First book I read is What a Match, and I read this one because I didn't just want to read like black authors in February, so I had a plan to read a whole bunch of like black romance books. And I liked this book. I gave it 4 stars, but like after I read this, I was like, I don't want to read romance anymore. So like my whole romance TBR that I curated just like dropped, and I decided that I wanted to just continue on with the series and stuff that I was reading. So this video is mostly just series that I was like reading from last month. Also, I apologize if I like look weird or anything is weird. I cannot see because I have like a selfie light now, and it's attached directly to my camera, so it's like I can literally not see anything. So hopefully the video looks good. What a Match by Mimi Grace is about this girl who like has her shit together. She lives alone, and her brother is like, hey, my friend needs somewhere to stay because he's in between homes, and our apartment is being like regulated or something like that, so we can't keep him. Like, can he stay there? And she's actually always had a crush on him, and she is single and she's like dating and stuff, and so he moves in with her, so it's like a roommate story. And I read this one because I talked about this in my vlog, but I read a Bucky fan fiction. It was like a Your Name fan fiction. So if you don't know what a Your Name fan fiction is, it's self-insert. So it's basically where you're Sam's sister and Bucky comes to visit and you're like roommates, and Bucky comes to visit for like a week or something, and then like Sam is like gone, and they end up like falling in love. It was like a one shot. I'm a one-shot fiend, okay? And so ever since then I have been looking for something similar, and this is almost that story. And I was like, period. And I liked it. I gave it I really enjoyed it. I just don't see myself giving any romance books 5 stars. Like, even though this was really good, it's just like romances just have not been hitting for me, which is why I've been taking a break. Like, I really wanted to read some black author romances. I was like in this weird dilemma. After that, I read some Discworld books. So I read 3 Discworld books, and I don't own any of them. I read Pyramids, Eric, and Moving Pictures. So Pyramids is about this kid who is an assassin, and his father is a pharaoh, and his father passed away, so now he has to be an assassin and take over the role of being a pharaoh. And I gave it 3 stars because it was really similar to the one that I had just read, which is Weird Sisters, and I had just finished that. Even though I had read it in February, I had just finished it, so it was just like too similar in plot lines for me, and like I was just kind of over the whole like, oh, like I'm a secret king, and like my dad passed away, and now I have to have responsibilities. Like I'm just over that, right? So I was like, it was good though, right? And then I read Eric, which Eric is about this guy named Eric who summons a demon, but the demon is actually Winswind. And if you watch my video about Discworld, or any of my other videos about Discworld, then you would know that Rincewind is a failed wizard. And this one also discusses like multiple dimensions. And then lastly, I read Moving Pictures, which is Discworld's version of like Hollywood and movies, and just like how corrupt the industry could be and things like that. And I also gave that one 3 stars as well. I think I was just drained of reading Discworld books, so I decided I'm gonna take a break from them for a while, and then I'm gonna come back to them later, which does scare me because I am bad at reading series. As we all know, this is why I'm on this journey to read series, and I'm really scared to like take a break and then I won't come back. But I love Discworld so much that I don't see myself not coming back to it, to be honest. So then I finished The Heir of Navarin, which is the last book in the Rhyria Revelation series. The first book being Theft of Swords. Every book is a bind up of 2 books. So the first book is books 1 and 2, next book is book 2 and 3, and this book is book 3. What? This book is 5 and 6. So the first one is book 1 and 2, the next one is book 2 and 3, and then this one is... Am I tripping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Can I count? Do I know math? What is sounding off? Something sounds off to me. First book is books 1 and 2. Second book is 2 and 3. This book is book 5 and 6. I'm confusing myself, child. This one's like 900 pages, almost 1,000 pages. It is so good. I gave it 5 stars. It is the final act in the Theft of Swords series. I obviously can't tell you what goes on in this. I do have a video talking about how I feel on Theft of Swords as a whole, like a series, like a recommending it to you, or if you also love this series and you can talk about it with me. But if you never heard of it, if you never heard me talk about it, Theft of Swords, the first book, Theft of Swords, is about these 2 guys that are called themselves Rhea. But it's a fantasy book, so it's like, it's not medieval, but it has like that old-timey fantasy books. Nobody knows what they look like. They are hired to steal a sword, hence Theft of Swords, but they are framed for murdering the king. And so the daughter of the king knows that it wasn't them, so she assigns them to take her brother, who was next in line to be king, and get him to safety because she fears that whoever killed the king will be out to kill him next. And so I really love this. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Perfect found family story, the perfect wrap up. Like, this just felt like a TV show. Like, it felt like Game of Thrones if Game of Thrones ended well. Honestly, yeah, I actually compare it to Game of Thrones in the sense of, like, this last book felt like the final, felt like the last season of Game of Thrones. Like, you know, like the first 4 or 5 episodes I thought were really good. Like, the first episodes of the last season were really good. It was those last 3 episodes that are kind of like, man. But it's like when when everybody that they've ever met throughout the series comes to like help them and stuff like that, it was beautiful. And that's pretty much what happens in this book as well. Well, next I reread Shards of Earth, and this is a space opera sci-fi. My favorite thing in the world, because you are guaranteed a found family in space opera sci-fi, which I love, but also I just love space opera. I love things that take place in space. And so this one is about these aliens that are called architects, and at one point they had taken over the world. And so now they've basically gone extinct, and there's a main character who has, I think he has like a telepathic like ability, and throughout the series they slowly start to discover that like maybe the architects didn't go extinct. And this was really fun. It has a really fun cast of characters. I gave it 4 stars. Like I said, it was a reread. I was supposed to just jump right into the next book, but I'm just not going to be able to because of like, I don't see myself reading that much on vacation. Well, I don't see myself reading as much as I usually do on vacation. I have like 3 books picked out, and I don't even think I'm going to get to all of those. I'm going to jump back into this in March. Hopefully. I can't reread this book a 3rd time. Like, I love it, but I cannot read this book a 3rd time, so I definitely need to jump into the series. Then I read Royal Assassin, which is the next book in the Farseer trilogy. I have decided to go back and read the Farseer trilogy because if you guys didn't know, I had read The Live Ship Traders like a few years ago. Okay, so basically I read Assassin's Apprentice a few years ago. I liked it, but I was like, this is depressing. Like, I'm not obsessed as everybody else is. I'm gonna move on to Live Ship Traders because personally I don't care that much. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those people who like, I need to read it in this order and like I have to do this. I don't give a shit. So I was like, I'm gonna read Live Ship Traders. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. But now that the series is popular, which I should have read this, I should have finished this series when I first read it before it got super duper popular, right? That's my bad. But anyways, so this book has gotten super popular and I've been seeing everyone talk about it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give these books a fair chance. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna reread, and I'm gonna finish the Farseer trilogy and read them in the order that they are intended to, and I'm not gonna jump around. So I read Royal Assassin. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. The series is definitely more character heavy. It does have plot, but if you are somebody like the series is definitely character heavy. But what kept me through the book is the political intrigue, and honestly I think Robin Hobb is such a phenomenal writer, and I really enjoy this world. So yeah. And then another reread is The Blade itself, because my intentions was to take the last book on vacation with me and then like read that, because the next book is called Before They're Hanged. And I just want you to think for a second, like, what do you think would happen if you saw a black girl walking around a cruise with a book that says Before They're Hanged? And maybe this is me thinking too much into it, like it could be, but I just don't feel right just walking around. I wanted like a big fantasy book to take with me to just have and read. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I still reread The Blade itself because this was the same issue as like Shards of Earth, where it's like I read it and then I didn't move on with the series because I'm so bad at series. And so now that my goal is to be better at series, I just decided to pick this up. I reread it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think that it's really good. Also, I watched like a lot of Joe Abercrombie interviews because in January I was so obsessed with high fantasy to the point where I was watching author interviews, and I just really like Joe Abercrombie and how he writes and just like his mind and like how he thinks. And I think he's a really funny person, and that really, all of that shows throughout this book, and I really like and respect that. So I had a lot of fun, and I do think that that helped me going into this book again, because I think originally it was like more of a 3.5 star, but this time it's like a 4. It's like a 4 star. So yeah, when I get back home, I'm definitely going to be finishing this series too. And then the last book that I read is The Crown Tower, and this is the first book in the Rhyria Chronicles. Rhyria Chronicles takes place before the Rhyria Revelations. You can read them in any order that you want to. It follows how Royce and Hadrian met each other, and I had to jump into this book because in the 6 books in this series, Royce says how he secretly hated Hadrian and wanted him to fail, and I just think that's so funny, and I wanted to like see that for myself. And it's not explicitly said, but you can kind of see it if you like really look, and I just think that that's really funny. So I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars just because the beginning was like really slow, and like it just had like, even though it had characters, even though it like followed characters that I cared about, I'm like, that's not what I want to read about here. But like that's the point of the story, like that's where the story builds at. So that is my own bad, but who cares? I can feel how I want to feel. So yeah, I feel like this is the quickest wrap up I've ever done in my life, like honestly. But yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.